It was a gray, heavy-skied Sunday morning when the knock came at my door. Firm, deliberate, and unexpected. I wasn't anticipating anyone, hadn't made plans, and I was still in my house clothes, nursing a mug of coffee that had already gone lukewarm. I opened the door out of habit more than curiosity, expecting maybe a delivery or a neighbor, but standing there, arms casually crossed and a smirk stitched into his face like it was carved there by arrogance itself, was a man I'd never seen before. Tall, with the kind of smug self-assurance that didn't need words to announce its presence. He didn't offer a greeting, didn't ask who I was, didn't pretend at politeness. He simply leaned against the frame of my door like he owned the space, glanced around like he was making mental notes, and said, "So, you're the guy she left behind?" For a few seconds I just stared, letting the pieces shift into place in my mind. And then they did. Mia. He was talking about Mia, my ex. The woman who vanished from my life 3 months ago without a word of goodbye. No note, no closure, just absence. "You mean Mia?" I asked, keeping my voice steady, my face unreadable. He chuckled like we were sharing some kind of joke. "Of course, I mean Mia. She said you might still be here, moping around like a lost puppy." Looks like she was right. There was something in the way he said that, so rehearsed, so smug, that made my blood simmer. But I didn't flinch. I just took another sip of coffee and leaned my shoulder against the frame opposite his. Calm, measured. "And you are—" I asked. He straightened slightly, puffing his chest as if he'd just earned some title. "I'm the man she really wanted. The one she came back to. Thought I'd come over, clear the air, maybe help you get some closure." I almost laughed, not because he was amusing, but because he was delusional. So confident in the fantasy, she must have spun for him. Mia didn't go back to anyone. She didn't return. She ran. From responsibility, from confrontation, from the truth. That had always been her way. "Well," I said, my voice still calm, "that's awfully generous of you. Traveling all this way to insult a stranger on his own doorstep. Very adult of you." He smirked wider, like he still thought he held the upper hand. "Just thought you deserved to know where you stand. She told me how clingy you were, how you begged her not to leave. Kind of pathetic, man." I nodded slowly, not out of agreement but restraint. I didn't want to laugh in his face, just yet. "Right. And she told you all that after vanishing in the middle of the night, leaving nothing but silence behind her?" I asked. His face faltered then, just a twitch, but enough. I stepped forward, not threateningly, just enough to shift the energy, to close the distance between honesty and performance. "She didn't tell you everything, did she?" His brow knit. "What do you mean?" I said carefully, "Mia didn't just walk away. She didn't leave with grace or dignity. She left behind chaos. Unpaid bills, a lease still in both our names. Lies she told to her parents, mine, our friends. She didn't run to you. She ran from the wreckage she created." His eyes flickered, doubt creeping in like smoke through a crack. His posture tightened. Not so sure anymore. "She said you were manipulative," he said, "controlling, that she had to escape." "Escape?" I repeated, the word sour on my tongue. "That's rich. Did she also tell you who pulled her out of debt last year? Who stood by her when she lost her job and couldn't bring herself to tell her family? Who stayed up 3 straight nights at her side when her mother was in the hospital?" I took another slow step forward, not aggressive, just factual, quiet, and deliberate. "Did she tell you about any of that?" "No." I figured. Doesn't fit the story she prefers. He shifted again, his arms crossing tighter, defensiveness now replacing bravado. His confidence was bleeding out in slow, visible drips. "She said you play the victim," he snapped. "I'm not the victim," I said, voice unwavering. "I'm the man she used. And you? You're just next on the list." The sentence landed like a gut punch. He tried not to show it, but his jaw clenched, and for the first time since he arrived, he had no clever retort. His eyes, defiant moments ago, now scanned the floor, as if looking for a truth he hadn't been prepared to hear. "She's with me now," he mumbled, almost as if needing to remind himself. "For now," I said softly, "until it gets hard, until she's bored." until she has to be accountable. And when that happens, you'll be standing right here where I am now, wondering how someone you trusted so deeply could twist everything and walk away without looking back. He was quiet, completely quiet. That smug grin he arrived with had vanished entirely, replaced by something unfamiliar, uncertainty, maybe even fear. I'm not angry, I added. I'm free. The day she left, she did the one thing I was too blind to do. She ended something that needed to end. I've rebuilt, grown. She hasn't. And you walking up my driveway to deliver her story doesn't change that. But before you show up at a man's door thinking you've won, you might want to be sure you understand the game she's playing. He looked at me like a mirror had just spoken, and for the first time, he saw his own reflection not as a victor, but as a future version of what I had been. I should go, he muttered. I nodded once. Probably a good idea. He turned and walked away, stepped slower now, heavy with thought. I watched him head down the driveway, back toward whatever illusion Mia had wrapped him in. And when he was gone, I stepped back inside and closed the door. The house was quiet. I placed my coffee on the table and sank into the silence. I wasn't surprised she had sent him. Mia always had a gift for rewriting reality in her favor, and she needed someone new to believe her version of the past. But what she never understood, what he didn't see coming, was that I had let go a long time ago, that the man she left behind was not the same one who now stood in his place. She thought she left me broken. What she actually left behind was a man who no longer needed her lies to feel whole. And in the end, truth doesn't shout. It waits. It stands. And then, when the moment comes, it speaks with clarity. Quiet, undeniable, final.